Hi there, this is Jacob Baugh, Jacob's Ladder with Team Cardhoarder, and we're back for another video set, but this week we're going to be doing something a little different. We actually received a request from a viewer to feature this deck. It is a 5-0 league list from this a few weeks back, but it is an upgraded Lantern control deck with removing Seagate Wreckage and the Eldrazi mana sources and Landwire Wastes for Blooming Marshes, Botanical Sanctums, and Darkstrick Shores. Removes the pain from the mana base, so I'm sure it will help your burn matchup significantly. It was definitely one of the rougher matchups for this deck in the past, so it's definitely a upgrade for sure in this style of deck. And they also have the additions of Adventure Sphere over the actual Seagate Wreckage slots. It's definitely helps again in the burn matchup. Gains you some much needed life, can buy you potentially 2 turns if you have it early. And it's also just another way to find your potential piece you're missing, whether it be Lantern, more mill effects, or just your bridge altogether. It can also find your sideboard cards, which there's plenty of different artifact hate cards in the sideboard we have to choose from, including Needles in the main and Spellskite in the main as well. But that's pretty much all that card does, but it definitely does a lot more than you would think from a land. Obviously, we still have Academy Ruins to recur our stuff when we mill it with all of our bells and shredders. But we also have the addition of Gluttonous Crane with the blue we added to the mana base for sure to help dig through our deck for even more artifacts. Works as an impulse in this deck because pretty much everything you want to find is an artifact anyways. Also serves as a very much needed blocker in the early turns. Pretty much the only way to beat this deck is to get enough damage early and then get burned out in the late game. Is the biggest way this deck lost if it was functioning, but this pretty much shuts down some of the early aggression from those kind of decks and then shuts off the avenue to victory altogether, which is definitely seems nice, but we'll see how it works in practice. We also have the addition of Tezzeret, Agent of Bolas. Because we have blue for Gluttonous Crane, this splash is just basically free. I'm sure this card is going to be great in this kind of deck, but you can't play too many 4-drops in a deck where you want to get rid of your hand as fast as possible to make your ensuring bridges as effective as possible. So I'm sure 1 is probably the correct number. You can always rebuy it with Codex Shredder if it gets milled, so you don't really need to worry about anything like that. Because it lets you sacrifice it to return a new thing, so it works out in that way. On the sideboard, we have a Singleton Leyline. I'm not sure why there's only one, but I'm not going to question. This kind of effect's very powerful when it's good. It's great, so I'm sure it won't be that hard to hardcast, I guess. There are still 8 white sources, but it's not that big a deal, and if you ever just have it in your opening hand, it's obviously great, but going down the list, we have a Crumble. This can be found off Ancient Stirrings, so it's a great sideboard tool for this kind of deck, for sure, because it's just a game-winning effect in certain matchups, like Tron. And we also have a Nature's Claim to help fight artifacts and enchantments. Nothing really special there. The additional 2 Abrupt Decays in case we need more removal. 2 additional Spellskites to help fight hate and some early creature threats. And then a Pithing Needle, a 3rd Pithing Needle, in case we need more of that kind of effect. 2 Sun Droplets to fight Burn, 2 Cages to fight Dredge and Cord and Company strategies, and then Welding Jars to help fight the hate as well. Pretty much need answers to cards like Ancient Grudge and everything like that to just make them a little bit worse against you. You have to play cards like this in your sideboard to help fight through that stuff. If the Affinity Hate is rampant, this kind of deck suffers, so we'll see how this deck works out, and let's get to the games.